Guess who's back again. Dr. Nobody's back. Please tell all your friends. Yes, guess who's back for season 2? Dr. Nobody. Good to be back, everybody. Thank you so much, everyone who's been listening to season 1 since I've been off. I did tell you I was going to take a break. It is a mental health drain doing a podcast all by yourself. I give props to all those people out there that can do it. But I do manage a lot of things at the same time. So thank you for being patient. It's been incredible. I have a couple things on the agenda today. I hope you sit back and enjoy this preview episode for season 2. This is episode 1. First, I want to start with the stats of season 1. I got an email the other day, and I think I was in bed and I woke up my wife because I was shocked to see some of the numbers for my podcast since I've been gone. And I told her, I was like, this podcast is still growing really well, and I haven't even popped a new episode out. People really enjoy the show. So all you people out there, thank you so much for supporting and listening. It's, I make no money off of this, but it's very motivating to see that. We have over 1,500 unique listeners for this podcast. And the last episode of my podcast from last season being the most listened to, which was kind of interesting because that was like kind of the wrap-up episode. I would think like all the other cool episodes were really good, but no, by far that one was the winner. Still very impressed. It's just so nice. Now, if you remember, we totaled, I think, about 21 episodes, averaging around 40 to 50 minutes, which, again, people really listen to it all. Thank you for sitting through that. And we interviewed 13 guests. Now, this season's a little less. We're looking at between 7 and 9 people, 7 for sure. We have 2 more that's kind of on the ropes right now. It depends on my time and their time really to line up, since I interview everybody originally for the season all at once. And guess what? This season is 100% happening because all those interviews, minus those 2 that I said are up on the air, have been done. All I have to do is just finish editing them and publish them. And that definitely takes time. So right now, this season is going to keep the same format that the last season had. So same format, same interview questions, just new people, really interesting backgrounds, and tons of insights. And hopefully, just like the last season, everything with this podcast is just organic growth. I haven't put any money in besides paying for the website and the podcast. So it's all word of mouth. So again, thank you. Great responses. People reached out to me using the website's message function and emails, and just people that knew me and just went up to me and just said, hey, great podcast, like what you're doing. It's just really nice. It's really nice. I'm not trying to do this podcast to be famous, to be honest. This is why it's called the Dr. Nobody podcast. Duh. But, it's still nice. But yeah, I've gotten stories of the benefits from my podcast as well, like professional people and non-professional. Professional people are telling me, wow, I didn't know about imposter syndrome. That's how I feel. Now I know what to do. And then non-professional people, because of my stories and some other people's stories, just motivated them to get off their butts and do something with their life. So again, this is so cool. So what was the theme for the last season? What we consistently heard from our guests from last season is that hard work is very important. I'm a big proponent on that. I don't like hand-me-downs no matter what's going on in your life. And if you're listening to this season right now and haven't listened to season 1, go back before you start judging on what I just said. And you'll understand that everybody on my show has also said the same thing. You just need to work hard. And that work hard comes from that passion. It's another theme from this show. It's just a passion of just enjoying what you're doing and being happy. Surrounding yourself with the right people. Mentorship is a big one. Hobbies to ease the mind. Oh, I can't tell you how important that is. I told you guys that I still build model kits like Gundams and things like that. I play video games. I read books. I play with my kids. So yeah, it's very important to do hobbies for your mental health. Everybody has a different hobby. You don't have to do the ones that I just said. It's important to set up goals so that in your mind, you know what needs to be done, and never let imposter syndrome or anyone hold you back. Yeah, there's going to be a point where maybe if you hear like a billion no's, maybe it's kind of a no, but you go for your goals, accomplish what you need to do, and be happy. What did I learn? It's so important to tell your story. This is why I started this podcast. I wanted to tell my story and I wanted other people to tell their story. I'm sick and tired of seeing especially now that influencers are such a huge thing. And, sometimes their backgrounds are just so fake or embellished. And I don't like that. I am, good for them. They figure out how to make a lot of money really fast, but it's not the key to success all the time. Most of those people are probably not happy. You ever seen somebody just take like a selfie or a picture and they just smile so big and everybody's so happy? And then once that picture's taken, they go back to frowns and like, okay, editing this picture to post it on Instagram. That's sad. I have to say, like, when I take pictures with my family or with my wife or something or friends, I keep smiling after and I put the phone away as soon as I take that picture. I don't need to edit it. We're all beautiful people. We don't need that, right? So it's just so important. And that's all important for your mental health, right? It's helped me with my mental health significantly. And it's helped me move on from a lot of problems that I've had in my past. So I feel a lot better. And really my story's out there. It's out there to show people that even if there's impossible odds and you're super frustrated, you could do it. You could totally do it. There's no problems out there that you can't overcome. And I love doing this. That's another thing I learned. I did miss doing the podcast. It's just a lot of fun for me. And yes, staring at my mic this whole time while I'm talking is kind of weird. It was a big learning curve for me, but I enjoy it. This is really cool. I learned to do all the editing myself, script writing and everything. Which is just new soft skills that I gained that gives me the ability just to have better conversations with people, especially at my job. And like you all, gained a lot of insights from my interviews from a lot of people. I feel like I got closer to a lot of these people that I interviewed last season and this season as well. It just feels great. So, update from season 1 for me personally. So my stuff. I was recruited by a pharma company, then turned into over-the-counter company, over-the-counter medicine company, which they recruited me. It was a big jump, meaning I didn't really feel comfortable doing it. It was one of the first times in my life that I just was not 100% sure on it. I probably still feel that way still, with a lot of things going on. But, I'm happy I did it. I, as you know, I was a marketer. Now I'm in the medical affairs lead. So I basically went from being, serving the clients, which would have been the pharma companies, to being the client. I am now the client. It's just nice to see both sides of the aisle on that. But, God knows what's going to happen in the future and what decisions I make. But, right now I'm blessed. I'm happy. Because actually that comes into my next thing. If it wasn't for my new job, a lot of things would have been different. I definitely would not have been doing this podcast because of it. But my wife and I had a baby girl, and she's an incredible story of her own. She is a NICU baby, was there for 2 months. Anybody who listens to this podcast that has kids and maybe has experienced the NICU experience, I'm so happy for you that you made it through. You're all strong and powerful people. And I pray that everything continues to go well. And people who haven't, I wish that it never happens to you. I hope that you never experience it. It's a hard thing. Just picture this: going to see your baby that your wife has been growing for months in her belly, and then somebody else takes that baby for months and raises them, feeds them, changes them. sometimes loves them, right? Sometimes not, because some nurses were just like, meh. But it's a hard thing to go to the hospital, see your baby for like an hour or two, and then leave and not bring her home. So, it was a hard experience. I learned a lot from it, but the day that we were able to bring her home was remarkable. And, I tell my story to people, and I hope other people tell their story, because we are in a great position, since I do have the medical background, to fight for my daughter more than most people, because one conundrum that we hit was the doctors wanted to keep her for like another couple weeks. Sometimes even after we waited those weeks, they're like, maybe another couple days. And I just put my foot down one day and I challenged those doctors, and it blew their mind. I guess they aren't challenged enough. And I came from a place of respect and just intelligence, of just knowing the situation, and basically saying like, hey, we're not first time parents. We know what we're doing. I know she's a NICU baby, but again, don't let that be a crutch for her, because our baby girl is so strong. I'm just so impressed with her. We've been told by people, friends, family, doctors, that even though they tell her, oh, she's supposed to be behind 2 months because she's 2 months in the NICU, this girl is like 2 months advanced than any other baby that we know that's at her age group. So basically born in the same time frame of a couple weeks. She's at the time of this recording, she's 5 months. She's basically getting on all fours. She can put up her body. She can hold her neck up straight. She can roll around back and forth. So she goes on her back, goes on her belly, goes on her back. It is incredible, because I don't even think our son was that accelerated. He was on a normal path, but it was just seeing her. I'm just so proud of her. And in I don't know, 5-10 years, when she hears this podcast, I want to tell her I'm just so proud of her, and that she's, continuously growing and being strong and independent, and just, we love her very much. And of course, our son, he's awesome. He's such a smart little boy. It's unfortunate and fortunate that he has the same OCD tendencies that I do. And as he's gotten bigger, we can see it clearly. It's way worse than mine. But eventually, as he grows, he'll learn to channel it like I did. It takes time. And unlike me, when I was growing up, people didn't respect that or care. And now people do for him. And he's just a smart little boy in preschool, very happy. And he just loves being handsy with, stuff that I do, like painting, construction, building, just smart. And then the other two kids, my sister and my brother, they're going to graduate high school and college this year. Very proud of them. Very huge hallmark for us, because obviously we skipped like a big age group and just went into high school and college instantly. But, we're supporting them the best we can. And we're going to make mistakes, but, God's with us, and we pray over them all the time, and we just make the best informed decisions we can. And then there's some exciting news that unfortunately I cannot reveal yet. Maybe in my last episode I can reveal it based on timing. But, you could probably guess what it is based on just my personality and my background, and just understanding how I talk and just knowing me. But yeah, hopefully in the last episode I can reveal, but it's very cool. And yeah, so I'm going to wrap this up now. I don't want to drag this out too long, since this is just the first episode, though my first episode of my last season was the second best episode, which is like crazy, because it's the first episode. Yeah, it was so cool. Look, I'm very excited to get this season launched. We're looking for, it's just me. I don't know why I just said we. Dr. Nobody is looking to launch this podcast sometime in January. That's because I still need time to edit these episodes. I am still on paternity. My job has been very gracious to give me 6 months paternity as a man. It's incredible. So I took full advantage of it, and I love it so much, because I get to see her grow, and my son, and also just support my wife, because it is tough basically having 4 kids in the house with like very little breathing room. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone who supported me and helped me, especially to do this next season. it's just mattered to so many people. So it really just inspired me to do it. Again, I want to thank my wife. She's been such an incredible support, and really that push to do another season, like constantly was always asking me, "You're going to do another episode, another season, another episode?" And I was like, yes. So I started doing it, and here I am recording the first episode of season 2 and ready to edit all the other episodes. But she's my voice of reason, and she's my guide, and all the prayers that I get from her to do all this work and just all my additional work as well. Thank you, wifey. So again, thank you so much for listening to my first season and joining me on my journey for the second season. I hope you gain plenty of insights today. I mean, I try to give insights all the time, but today at least maybe there's some. This is the beginning of becoming a someone, but specifically the someone you always wanted to be. I hope you enjoyed this episode or any of my past episodes. And if you did, please do give me a like, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Also share it. This is a time now where it's important to ramp up for my season to get a full full listening ears to the podcast to keep it growing. So hopefully it exponentially grows. And that way I can do more. But you can also visit my website, thedrnobodypodcast.com, to learn more about my guests and listen to all the episodes at any time and much more. Thanks again for listening to the Dr. Nobody podcast. I hope I have helped you all in some way or shape or form, and moving forward even more. The Dr. Nobody podcast, where we turn nobodies to somebodies. Talk to you all very soon.